Welcome to Beyond Bridge, the podcast where courage meets community. We shine a light on the stories, science, and support that define the breast cancer journey. From survivors and thrivers to doctors and advocates, we're here to share real conversations, expert insights, and the hope that carries us forward. Whether you're newly diagnosed, a lifelong fighter, or walking alongside someone you love, this is your space, your voice, and your story. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Beyond Bridge. I am with Shameka Benjamin for this episode, and Shameka was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer in 2025.
Yes.
So thank you for being with us.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your journey, your personal story as you've gone through a cancer diagnosis. What has that been like for you?
So it has definitely been a journey, one that I can note as has tested my faith and also just me as a person. Because when I first found out, I felt the actual lump on my left breast. And I truly didn't think anything of it because I had a little nodule on my right side and it came back benign. So, of course, I'm thinking, oh, this is just, routine. Let me go and get my mammogram and then they'll probably do the biopsy, which, again, I had been through this before. So I'm like, okay, let's get it done, over with. Unfortunately, this time was different. So went in. I had a great doctor. He was going through the process when he was doing the biopsy, and I could tell something was off. But of course, I just wanted to kind of wait until I heard the actual news. And so when I was going back into the doctor's office, they were like, okay, the doctor does see something, kind of want to talk to you about it. And I knew at that moment that my results were going to come back positive for breast cancer. Just didn't know, of course, what type. So when it happened, I received the notification of my results on Christmas Eve. And the anxiousness of me, I was like, okay, do I want to find out now or do I wait? So, of course, me being me, I had to know. And I didn't know what everything meant on the paper, but just to see those words, carcinoma, I knew for a fact, okay, this is serious. And I debated on when I was going to tell my family, because, of course, it's the holiday. Who wants to talk about being sick around the holiday? And people that know me, I am one of the, I don't want anything about me. I never want the spotlight. I will always be in the background. But vocal, but I will be in the background. So the first person that I told was my fiance, and he knew something was wrong.
Okay. You're doing great. Okay. But you said two things that are really interesting. Mm-hmm. The first is that you got the information, the diagnosis, through a letter, right? On December 24th, Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you held this information. You didn't share it.
Did not share.
But now you've got this fiance and you shared it with him.
Yes.
And his reaction.
So a little step back, before I even shared with him, I prayed. And I was very intentional about my prayer because I asked God, again, I knew what was getting ready to happen. And I had asked God specifically, sorry.
It's okay. It's your story.
I had asked God, have your way. Whatever this is going to be, have your way. Whatever I need to do, the people that need to be in my life, please show me. And specifically it was, at the time, the guy I was dating, I said, if he is supposed to be for me, please let me know this is who I'm going to go on this journey with. Show me, tell me something, God, that's going to let me know I'm not going through this alone, because I don't want to go through it alone. Because a lot of people didn't even know I was dating it, and I had just gotten divorced, like officially the beginning of March of 2024. So I wasn't looking, So fast forward, here we are. And so when I told him, the first thing that he said, he grabbed my hand. He's like, "You're not going to go through this alone."
Prayer number one answered, right?
When I knew instantly, yes, instantly. Like, okay, God, jokingly, but I'm like, oh, okay, God, I see what you're doing here. And I appreciate you for doing it, because, again, this is a huge undertaking when you find out you have this diagnosis, and then someone you haven't known, like, for a very long time to say, I'm going through this with you. That's huge, 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 huge. So he became a huge part of my support system. So I technically did not tell my family until probably like the beginning of January, before I went to see like my breast specialist. So him and I told first my mother and my two sisters. And of course, everyone's thinking I'm about to tell them I'm pregnant, because that's what they were waiting on. And unfortunately, that wasn't the news. But everyone just, again, I'm the type, I don't like a lot of attention. So it was even hard having people to say, I got you, because I'm usually that one. I got y'all, don't worry about it. I'm the peacemaker in my family. I'm the one that's always going to rally behind someone. And so to have it be on the receiving end, it's difficult, because I never want to be that person. I don't like to be let down, because I have been let down. So it's so difficult for me to relinquish control. And that is what I truly have been learning through this journey is to, you're not in control, girl. You're not in control. No matter how hard you try to be, guess what? This is temporary. This is a borrowed body. This doesn't even truly belong to me. I'm renting this because of my Heavenly Father. And my job is to, how are people seeing the God within me? Ultimately, that's what it is. So I have to let go of that control so that people can see that, so that I can show and be, whether it's empowering for someone, encouraging, whatever that looks like for someone else, like that is my job. How do I get them closer to their connection with their creator? Or, just what does that look like in the role that I'm supposed to play? And I had to remember that, like, God did this for a reason. So it's my job to figure out, okay, what that reason may or may not be. My path is going to change. So how am I changing with it? And how am I making sure that God gets all the glory? So truly, 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 that's what my journey has pretty much projected me on, is a journey of getting closer to God and what that looks like for me now as an adult, because it has changed. And so
you're on a faith walk, because you've never been down this road before.
Never.
So what is he saying to you? He's answered your prayers. So he's with you, right? He's guiding you. So what are if you don't mind sharing, what are some of the intimate moments that you have with God?
They are so sweet. Those moments are so real and raw, because in the beginning, I kept questioning why. God, why? I check all the boxes. I do right by people. I'm eating good. This is probably then was like the best shape I've ever been in, and we tend, again, it went back to God saying, this ain't even about you, girl. Like, wake up. The why is because it's not about you. That's why. It never was about you. No, you're not a bad person because you got this disease. No, you didn't do anything wrong to do this. However, it happened to me and for others. So God has truly shown me that the closer I've gotten to him, I've been able to have conversations with people that maybe I wouldn't have before, or even encounters with people that if I wasn't on this journey, I wouldn't be in those circles to have those conversations, and to even just show how grateful I am for God's mercy. And because with my cancer journey, I truly can't complain. I haven't had all the side effects. I haven't, and that's not to brag. That's just to say my journey has definitely looked different from someone else's. But that gives me a moment to say to others, you can get through it. It's going to be okay. And even if you're not okay, that's still okay. Because I think sometimes we try not to get caught in this, let me compare myself, let me compare my journey to your journey, and let me not complain because my journey wasn't as bad or as good. And you say, I still need to be able to process my emotions through whatever that is, whether it was good or bad. It doesn't negate from anybody else's. And I think sometimes we do have those bad moments, and I think people still need to hear about the bad too, because it shows that you're a survivor or you're a thriver. And no, it doesn't make you, whether your cancer was more aggressive or less aggressive, it's like we still are human and go through these emotions, and that's okay. Go through them, process them. What did you learn from them, or what did you take away from any of it? So I think my time with God just reminded me of, I don't want to say who I am, because I feel like that's always evolving. So
it reminds you more of who He is.
There you go. That is exactly it. Who He is,
because He's always in control.
Always.
Always.
And you want Him to be.
Actually, you do.
Think about it. You want Him to, because think about all the decisions that we would probably. I mean, we say we have free will, but for me, I don't believe it's a free will. This is all God's plan.
All God's plan.
So
let me ask you this: your spiritual journey tremendously shows through
Yes.
as we're having this conversation. But you had mentioned earlier about your support. You mentioned your mother, and you said you have 2 sisters,
2, and I have a brother
and a brother, and your fiance.
Mm-hmm.
So what did they do with you and for you individually? And the reason why I say this is because people do different things for us. Okay, like your fiance, he did something that your mother didn't do, and it was not because she was supposed to do it, he was supposed to do it. Okay, so what was that like? What did that support look like for you? Share that with us.
Yeah, so my support system, let me give them kudos first of all, because I think part of surviving and thriving is your support system. So for me, I'll start with my mom. So again, when I first told them, it's rarely that I see my mom cry, and she's the sweetest person. Like, don't get me wrong. She's not like this stoic person that bottles things in, but I was so surprised that when I first told them the news, she didn't cry. And I think she was more or less trying to not cry because of, for me. But through this journey, my mom has been there since day one. She literally calls me every single day just to, how you doing? How's it going? And
has your relationship with her been enhanced because of this?
So it truly has, because my mom was kind of already like that, but I was the one usually always calling her. So now it's, just kind of the opposite. But I will say, what I catch myself doing is not answering the phone so I can have like a reminder, like a voicemail of her just checking on me. And I took that for granted, because once you get older, oh, that's just my mom calling. You know what I mean? Oh, I'll get back to her. But now I find myself making sure I pick up that phone. Or like I said, I'll let her go to the voicemail, but I call her right back. But it's just like the love that she has given me. I feel like a baby again. Like I have not been this spoiled with love from my mom in a while. And that's just because we live in 2 different states. She's in Alabama, I'm in Georgia. But Her love. Oh, it's the love that I've always had since growing up, but now to have it as an adult even more, it
feels different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It feels deeper.
It's deeper, exactly. And we're women now. It is not like her looking at me as a child. Like, I'm now looking at my mom as a person, like as a woman who is. We even can consider each other friends, you know. So the relationship definitely, I will say, it's always been great, but it did enhance. And then with my sisters, I will say my oldest sister is the one who's very strong. So we kind of gave her the role of letting people know, because I felt like every time I said something, I was crying. So because she is a stronger person, and her job was to kind of let people know on my behalf. And even the connection with my sisters, like that grew as well, because we've all been close, of course. And I think just when you go through something, you think people are going to change how they are about you or how much they reach out to you. But in fact, I have, from my personal experience, however they were prior to me getting a diagnosis, they truly were the same exact way. And it's nothing wrong with that, because I thought with my diagnosis, I would hear more from people, or the people I haven't heard from, they would reach out and make sure that they made those connections, that I knew they were there. And I thought it was going to hurt my feelings. And hindsight, I'm like, it really didn't make a difference, because they were like that before. So why am I expecting anything differently now, just because I have now this diagnosis? But nonetheless, I will say their support has been exactly what I needed, that I didn't know I needed. Because I think the bond between sisters is something different. And the way that they have checked on me is visiting more. We didn't see each other that often. We would, FaceTime, but to have their physical bodies there, that meant a lot. And my fiance, Anthony, was truly God sent, because what they don't do, he does, and then some. I don't cook. I don't clean. I mean, if I didn't have my own legs, he would probably walk for me. Like, that is how dedicated he has been to me, even before us getting married. So
you're married now?
No, I'm
not
just
yet.
saying, not yet,
Okay,
not yet. But to have someone that dedicated, and we haven't even said, till death do us part, and you've already set the tone of what I'm gonna get. You go, Black man, because one thing I will tell you, it's huge, because I didn't, for me, I'm thinking this is normal, because I know girlfriends that have a great man, but when you have doctors, nurses, random people commenting on how good he takes care of me, because when we go to chemo, he's got my bag, he's in tune with what they're doing. Meanwhile, I'm like in my headphones, I'm trying to mentally get myself, and he's trying to make sure. They call him the bulldog when we come to the office.
So, Shameka, I'm going to give you a word for that. Give you a word for that. And that word is love. My mother has always told me love is an action. It's not what you say, it's what you do. That's what you got from him.
And it is.
And it's a godsend. He's an angel.
Yes. I catch myself almost speechless sometimes, because I try not to self-sabotage and say, do I deserve this? Because sometimes I think it's too good to be true. And who am I to deserve a person like this? And then I have to remind myself, God, you did this for me, because I do deserve a person like this. And you thought of me enough to make sure that during my journey, you put the proper person in place to be here with me so that I could thrive.
That's right, because every man can't do that.
Correct.
God chose the perfect person
to
pair you with.
Perfect.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey with us, and your smile just lights up this studio.
Thanks.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Beyond Bridge, a place of strength, support, and shared stories. If the conversation touched your heart, be sure to share it with someone walking this journey. And always remember, you are not alone. God walks with you, even in the valleys. Lean on His promises, trust His timing, and never lose hope. Until next time, may you be covered in grace, filled with courage, and surrounded by love. I am Jacqueline Anthony. For all of us at Bridge, thanks for joining the conversation.